Sunday morning, Alpaca Ranch, harvest host, great.
Here we are at our home for this evening, the alpaca farm. Look at all those little honeys out there. Okay, and look at, we're surrounded by alpaca babies.
Hi there.
Hi.
Goodness.
Hi there. Oh my goodness. Oh, you should feel how soft, you guys. It's like, hi. Hi. They're just so frolicky.
So this, most of my herd is Wakayas, the fluffy ones. This girl is a Surrey, the dreadlockies.
Oh, it's a what?
The dreadlocks that hang.
And it's called
Surrey.
And is that one harder to make stuff out of?
It is. It's a drapey fiber, so like you couldn't do a sleeved sweater because it would just like hang, but a shawl or whatever would be awesome. But they are much shinier, more lustrous than Wakaya. You can see how the sun's reflecting on our fiber really nicely.
Like how they're looking you right in the face.
This is the oldest cria. She was born at the very end of April, so she's big, kind of big for the baby.
Cute little one with the fluffy face. I like watching them chew.
And where are these native? Where are they from?
So they actually began in North America, the Camlet family, and then when there was the land bridge between Asia and South America and everything, the camels with the humps that moved across the land bridge developed their humps in Asia, and then the alpacas from the Vicuña and the Guanaco, that's where their ancestry, that when they moved down to South America, and then they died off in North America completely, and then so now we in the United States we purchased alpacas or brought them in from South America, like mostly Chile, about 35 years ago. The registry was closed though in '97 for new imports, so all the alpacas
Like a kitty.
are here that are going to be here. You can still get some like dual registry from Canada, but yeah. This little white
was
girl
Smiley
is the
right there.
youngest white one.
Yes.
And then there's two little blacks
Oh.
that have been rolling in the dirt. Those two are also pretty new.
Oh, you can just, and they're so much cleaner than sheep. You know, you see sheep and they're just kind of,
Well,
I mean,
sheep have the lanolin, so it's sticky.
and they make they have, their wool gets all oogie at the back.
Yeah, because they have that lanolin that makes everything get sticky, but these guys are so like soft
And then their life
dry.
expectancy?
They can be up to like 24 years. The babies like to run.
Yeah, they do. This is where we get to stay tonight through Harvest Host. Little frolicking baby alpacas. Hi. Hi. No, there's Billy Bob. Billy Bob has a little bit of an underbite, but that's okay.
I noticed meat.
Yes, the meat is super lean, lower in cholesterol than even bison. Really healthy for you. It's an elliptically shaped red blood cell, so it digests really easily for us. Because red meat takes a lot longer for us, and it just kind of rots in your guts. And this processes a lot faster for us. So.
And does it taste similar to
Nothing. It's mild and sweet.
Oh,
yeah.
We're gonna have to get some.
Yeah.
Hi. You are very cute. Hi. Hi. They're just curious and cute. I don't know how to stop videoing because they're so darling. Oh, little Frisky. Hi, Frisky. Oh. Oh. Ow. Oh. Ow. Oh. Ow. Ow. There's the eyelashes. That's the one. Oh.
Carl, what did you do? Oh, Carl.
Oh.
That's an inside joke for our YouTube watching friends.
So snuggly. Hi. Hi, you want to go camping with me? You want to go camping?
Once in love with Amy. Adam wanted to see, that's my son, our son, wanted to see the inside of the trailer because he's never seen it.
Oh.
And so I thought I would just run this out.
I sped this up, but notice our table. I made that to save weight.
There we go.
Okay.
So that is our living space.
Our microwave.
And our bathroom. Here, go by Amy. Ooh,
And we kind of use this for storage.
open that vat, will you?
Yeah.
And then from this side is where our bed is, and that's a queen size mattress. It's not the one that came with the Jayco trailer. It's one we took off of one of our beds at our cottage, and we mounted a map here so that we can track our travels and point for the grandkids. That is not a candy bar. Where are we, Amy?
We are at Stops-Alpaca Farm, and they have, how many alpacas did you say earlier?
I don't honestly remember. A lot.
A lot.
Over 300 alpacas.
More than 100, yeah.
We have a great video of the babies, and we are way back. They have 60 acres, and we're way back at the end. And
We might need to put that in, darling.
our awning's going a little nuts. We have a fire pit, although it's 92 degrees, and we have a picnic table, and we are secluded, and it's wonderful.
They have 3 actual sites here. We're on number 3, obviously.
And it's beer o'clock.
Amy's holding my beer while I shoot the video.
And what's up on the front part?
I'm thawing out our dinner, and it's a prime cut. Oh, I can't wait. But it was frozen solid, and I figured with the sun out and the heat from the engine we just got here and the dark blue, that thing will thaw right out for us. Now, normally I would have set up our solar power, which is pretty easy, but you know what? We just drove here, the batteries are full, and we're only here one night, and we will not be using the heat tonight because it's 91 degrees. Because of the sun.
Yeah, we were freezing our buns off 2 days ago. I mean, cold, like 29 degrees. Woke up next to a pine tree and there was frost and snow on it. Brr, we're in a camper. And now it's 92. I'm gonna say bye-bye.
Wah, wah, wah. Man's best friend has been replaced. The dog is now this. This is man's best friend, especially on the road. And I have to jack these up, jack them down, boom. It's like a half a second job. Otherwise, I'm out here with a wrench and worrying about breaking my teeth. So my first tip is to get one of these. That is a 1/2-inch drive impact wrench. Sooner or later, I'm gonna get a flat tire. And when I do, I'm gonna be on the side of the road. And when I'm on the side of the road, there's gonna be traffic whizzing by me at about 80 miles an hour. And I'm not gonna be standing out there for 15 minutes changing a tire using a lug wrench when I can do this. Zip, 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 zip. So, get one of those. Tip number 2, get one of these. That is a power filter, surge protector. The campground power that you're gonna plug into is not gonna be perfect. Here comes Amy. Took a nice bike ride. And that's gonna clean it up for you a little bit. You don't have to buy that brand. Buy whatever brand you want. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Don't buy the cheapest one because it's probably junk. And don't buy the most expensive one because it's probably just overpriced.
What's the tip?
Here's another tip. Kiss your wife at least 10 times a day.
Amen.
She'll really like that.
She will.
So I was talking about this, the leveler system, and the reason for you to help me with it almost every time we do it, so that you're really familiar with it.
Well, yeah.
Because what if something happens to me and you got to get out of there with the truck and take me somewhere? You got to be able to disconnect this, and she needs to know the steps to do it. But first of all, I want to tell you about what that is. And we bought our rig from Terrytown Travel Centers in Grand Rapids, and it's used, And they put this on there for us. They told us what we were going to need. It's an anti-sway system. It's a stabilizer. It helps stabilize the weight and split the weight between the trailer and the truck chassis. So instead of the truck having all that weight on it. And if you have all the weight for the truck on the back tires, the front tires don't have much weight on them. Hi. And because they don't have much weight on them, you don't have a very good steering. So you need an anti-sway system. This one's by Husky. It's a really good one. This is a bar that you use to load those tension rods.
They're heavy too.
Yeah, they're preloaded. And then, so you have to, there's a little method. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it, but she knows how to do it.
But I could do it if I had to by myself.
So.
I haven't had to yet, but you know, I haven't driven the camper yet either.
Here's another one. Before we left, I put new brakes and rotors and 2 calipers all the way around, all 4. Got brand new brakes on this truck. I got brand new brakes because we're going down some steep hills. I got a lot of weight. Trailer has brakes. That's really nice. I want to make sure I can stop. So that's my tip, is take care of your vehicle before you go, so that it doesn't let you down.
Especially if your vehicle is over 10 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Like ours.
We're getting every penny out of this vehicle.
We
right
sure
now.
are.
It's
every
a 2005 Chevy Suburban. It's got close to 200,000 miles on it. We're maxing out the gross vehicle weight.
We sure are.
For the vehicle by pulling this trailer. And
but there's not really anything I didn't bring that I wanted to bring.
it might make it, it might not make it.
We were careful packing, right?
Well, yeah. Another tip is to bring, you know, and a lot of people do. Can you hold that, darling?
Sure.
Is bring a generator, because here we are boondocking, and if it gets really hot, we want air conditioning, right? Because we're spoiled by air conditioning. Mm. We don't need air conditioning, we'd like it. Well, I had to make a choice between my big generator, which weighs, gosh, that's got to be 100 pounds, or this teeny one. I hope you can see in here. I'll turn this little light on. I've got a light in mine. So I brought this little one, it's 1200 watt maximum, okay? It can't run my air conditioning, but it'll charge my batteries. It'll get me out of a jam. It'll save me from problems if I need it to. Another great suggestion is these. My wife had this suggestion. Milk crates. Everything's categorized and then put in these milk crates. I can reach in, slide them out, and get what I need. Every time we load or unload.
Plus, we can use them as stabilizers underneath the camper if we're really uneven.
Yeah.
We have once.
We did, in a pinch. My last piece of advice for this video is a good one. And it is this. Never start a sentence with the word dude. Okay? And if somebody does, if you're like in a national park and you hear somebody say, dude, quick, turn on your video, because somebody's going to do something really stupid that you're probably going to want to catch. Like, dude, watch me pet this grizzly bear. Or, dude, I'm going to ride a buffalo. Dude, watch what happens now. Okay? Turn your video on. You're going to want to catch that. Okay, that's it. Yep. We are at another harvest host, and we are charging our solar lights. It's a beautiful day. We stayed in an orchard. And we're gonna go in and meet some people here in a second. Literally right out my window, I could open the window and pick gala apples if I wanted to. We just picked some squash out of that garden right there. We're gonna go in and pay for them. Earlier this morning we bought eggs, tomato, garlic, and we're leaving here in a couple of minutes. We have a little store at Hidden Acres here. All kinds of yummy goods.
So we got 325, 75.
Lots of nice stuff. Not too much that I want to bring in the trailer with us because of the weight. Pies would be yummy, but I'm going to try not to eat pie for a little while. Pickled eggs. Lots of great stuff. We also have a petting zoo area and a playground over there. I'm gonna give this sheep a little doctor visit. Open your mouth and say ah. 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 What's up? Hello. Guys are funny. That'll do, pig. Hi there. And there's bunnies over there. Piggy Smalls. You guys are funny. So, playground for the kids, petting area, apples, vegetables, store with some goods in it, fresh eggs, and nice people. Nice people. We're gonna head out, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
You're on video, by the way. Can you tell
Right
us your
on.
name and tell us?
Caitlin, with Hidden Acres Orchards, and my husband, Nick. Yeah, and his grandfather started the place, so we are the caretakers. And this is what we do.
Great, and we love it. It's been nice.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Here comes John back from helping some other travelers over there who had a flat tire. We stopped and we tried to find all our stuff. He got his impact driver, which is his crazy drill, and then had to find his sockets. So they had the wrench.
Yes, we had gotten it off,
Yeah?
but it was not ideal. So this saved him a lot of time.
Oh, good.
A little bit of time anyway. So good. Glad we
Well,
could help him.
me too.
Boondocking in Oregon, right next to the Columbia River. See it? Pulled in, a little bit unlevel, so I did a little trick here to get the wheels up. Not a big deal. We had electricity, so this morning, first thing, I put on the Instapot and I made some stew. And then all day that stew was hot, pressurized in that Instapot, and then we put it in the oven with some potatoes, mashed potatoes, and some biscuits, and it's cooking right now. We're gonna eat in about a half an hour. I thought I'd show you this little spot. We are over there where the windmills are is Washington, and this side's Oregon. Quite a few people here. These people here we just met, and they come here semi-regularly. This is the most people they've ever seen in this spot. We don't care. It's a great spot for us to spend the night.
Even though you haven't seen us in Glacier yet.
This is our follow-up, kind of our closing on Yellowstone. We're going to include Glacier as well. And now that we're through with those parks, some of the things we've learned, some of the things to do, some of the things maybe not to do. And where do you want to start? Why don't you start with dressing?
Okay, so we're here in September. So do dress in layers, look at the weather report, you know, and bring a vest. We both forgot a vest.
Wish I had a vest.
I wish I had a vest.
Why do we want a vest?
Because a vest turns a warm sweater into a coat.
It kind of does.
And you can take the vest off when it gets warm, if it gets warm.
If it ever gets warm. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Reservations. We started planning this months ago. The problem with our trip is that we don't know where we're going to be when.
No schedule.
It's hard for us to have a schedule because of what we're trying to do. Now, when I made phone calls, many phone calls to the park, spoke to people in the park, spoke to rangers in the park on the phone.
In June?
In June and July.
Yes.
We're going to be there in September. Oh, you're going to love it in September because it's almost empty. The visitors are way down. All the kids have gone back to school, so there's hardly any people there, and you shouldn't have any problems getting reservations. Okay.
Everyone is there fishing. Tons of people from California.
I think everyone goes because they're like, great, there's no kids, let's go. But they all had reservations and we didn't. So we showed up with our what we consider small trailer.
24 feet.
25-foot trailer behind a Suburban. And come to find out, there's hardly any sites within Yellowstone that'll handle a trailer that big. I'm like, it's not a big trailer. No, that's a very large trailer,
And
sir.
our reservation man
He
was
was
rude.
He was a jerk.
He was unkind. It was like the end of the season for him, and he was like, done. Get me out of here.
I hope he watches. Your
Me
grandchildren
too.
don't like you because you're mean.
You were mean.
Anyway.
And we had this unlevel, tiny spot. Thankfully, the people who were next to us, they were very helpful, and they were in a tent.
Yeah. So really, the park is designed for tenters. In honesty, it's designed for people to go and sleep in your tent with the grizzly bears.
Which we didn't see any of.
Yeah.
And so we
And
ended
also,
up staying where?
Well, wait a minute. Small RVs are good too. It fits you pretty well. Our overall length is 46 feet.
We can unhook.
Yeah, we can unhook it. We could park sideways. We could do a T,
We
right? No, they wouldn't let us do that. You need a spot, a 50-foot spot, sir. There's only 4 in the whole park.
And everyone presumes that John can't back up a travel trailer. John could back it up anywhere. Anyway.
So, make reservations. And consider staying out of the park.
That's what we did. We stayed in West Yellowstone. It was lovely. It was kind of hard to get back to. So the point about Yellowstone is prepare to drive a lot.
It's humongous.
Huge.
I think it's 80 miles by 100 miles, 800 square miles. And yes, that was the surprise, is that we drove so much. Every day we were in the car. If we had young children or our grandchildren with us, they would have been bored to tears in the car and bugging us about when are we going to get there, because that's what kids do.
Ice cream?
Kids can't sit in a car for an hour driving somewhere and then an hour going even somewhere
and then
else
be interested because they see a hot spring. Ooh,
and then be
no.
2.5 hours getting back to the campsite.
And there's no signal. Once you're in the park, there's no service until you get to a visitor center. When you get to a visitor center, perhaps you might have a signal.
It is designed. It's designed for tents. It's designed for ultralight,
and reservations.
Things.
People who know the park.
Yes. The park itself was great. There were so many beautiful things to see. We had a great time in seeing the things that we did. The camping was a disappointment.
Yes. Okay, we were told that, this is the time when it's mating season for the bears. They're getting ready for winter. We didn't see one bear. We saw one elk cross the road in front of us, and that was in episode 2, and it was super exciting. Until our last night there, we were stuck in traffic for
a 2-hour traffic jam.
Going 0 miles an hour, all because the elk were nibbling and people stopped and they were rude.
There were 8 or 10 elk along the side of the road between the road and the river, and the traffic going westward, leaving the park. I don't know how many people stopped, but enough people stopped that we were over 2 hours in a traffic jam.
People were crossing the road.
Barely moving, because people would pull up and stop and then look at the elk for, 5 minutes?
Then they'd cross the road again and stop traffic.
10 minutes? How long do you have to look? It's an elk. Wow, cool, an elk. All right, go. Wow, cool. I better go because there's a whole line of cars behind me waiting to get out of here. No. Oh, that's great. Let's get out of the car and take 57 pictures of this elk. No, wait a minute, 58. I gotta have one more.
Let's talk about geysers. The geysers in Yellowstone are unpredictable, except for Old Faithful, which we didn't happen to see because we stayed in West Yellowstone.
The problem was everyone goes to Old Faithful, so there's nowhere to park. And so then you end up, and we're fighting crowds. And then when you do get there, It's stacks of rows and rows of people.
And then there's bus loads of people.
It's like when we went to the Panama Canal on a cruise, and when we got to the Panama Canal and we got off and wanted to see the Panama Canal, all we could really see was the back of people's heads who had gotten there before us. Who were
Unless
looking,
you're tall.
Yeah, who were looking at the Panama Canal. So I could have watched Old Faithful through the back of someone's head probably, but we just skipped it.
But if you get there early in the morning, I'm sure it's lovely. But we saw some pretty cool things. I liked Yellowstone. I did like Glacier better. Okay, so let's move on to Glacier.
Move on to Glacier.
Glacier, again, layers. Layers, layers. Glacier is amazing.
If I in my life could only go back to one, I mean, I've only been to a few so far, but I have a feeling Glacier's going to be it. If I can go back, I'm already thinking I want to go back and bring the grandkids.
And you tried to talk me out of it.
I know. Well, the weather.
Because of the weather.
I was really worried about the weather.
The weather was cold.
But Glacier was
Breathtaking.
hard to describe.
It's indescribable.
It kind of is.
Because these mountains have pushed up through.
Yeah.
And the rocks are so pretty and the sun is so pretty, and then you're driving through the clouds and then there's a lake. And there was just so much to see, and there's a rainforest in West Glacier, and then East Glacier is
more arid.
More arid, yeah.
Don't
miss Glacier.
It's just beautiful. It's definitely something I'd tell anyone. Someday go. When we go back to Glacier, we're gonna stay in one of the chalets.
Oh yeah, in one of the lodges. They have all these old, beautiful. Okay, good. All right, so that's our do's and don'ts about Yellowstone and Glacier. If you can only do one, Glacier.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I would say.
For sure.
But plan ahead, get up early.
Plan on a lot of driving. Get as much information as you can, honest, accurate information about the parks before you get to them, so that you're not surprised and disappointed.
Take a tour. We took a red bus tour. Great information.
That was good. $45 each to take a tour on the red bus. It was worth every penny. That was great. The other disappointing thing about Glacier was that the Going to the Sun Road is closed, not because of winter, and we rushed to get there because of winter, and we were worried about them closing it. It's closed for construction.
The only time they can do construction is now.
They have to do construction at some point, but it's just like unfortunate for us that we did get to see a large portion of it because we drove all the way around the park, which was a over 2-hour drive to get there, and then went up. We could go 21 miles in, and I think
21 miles
it
back.
was the most beautiful portion of the road, which is good that we got to see that. But 21 miles back.
We missed a chunk though, but that's our
Story
luck
so far
is construction.
Go have fun.
All right, be a gypsy.
Be a gypsy at some point in your life.
Tune in next week to see the video footage from Glacier. It's amazing.